Hey guys, we're back again for another round of Midnight Tarot. I want to wish everyone out there, all the mothers, a happy Mother's Day. Whether you're a real mom or a stepmom or a foster mom or a dog mom, thank you for everything that you do. The world would just not be the same without you. Being a mother is a tireless, exhausting job, but there's a reason why God gave it to women. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I had a good day. I got to spend some time with my family. We ate lunch and watched a movie and got to the bookstore and had some froyo and stuff like that. Good times. I got to see the sunset, so it was good times. So anyways, I haven't been on in a couple of days, and I thought, what better yet to do some tarot for Mother's Day. So why not? Let's just pull some out. And because it's Mother's Day, and I'm a mom, and it's my channel, I'm back with my Neon Moon deck, because it's my fave. Let's see. Okay, universe, can you give us a special reading today for Mother's Day? A special reading for Mother's Day. What do we need to know? Maybe something to... Some of us may have some wounds around, the mothers in our lives. Certainly no mother is perfect. Maybe some of us mothers feel wounded. It's hard trying to raise a kid if you did not have a proper mother role model. So it's good to go through the process of self-discovery. Look at what other moms are doing and don't compare yourself. Just kind of see okay, maybe this will work for me, maybe it won't, blah blah blah. Don't compare yourself to other moms. So whether or not you're a good person, as long as you keep trying, that is what matters the most. There's a Zen expression and it talks about husband, but it could easily be switched to mom. But it's a good husband is not a good husband. A bad husband is a good husband, because the bad husband's always trying to be a better husband. If that makes any sense. Basically, if you already think you're good, then you we tend to plateau and we tend to stop trying so much. But if you understand that there's always room for improvement, then you're constantly trying to improve yourself. And so that expression, I said husband because that's the original expression, but it can go, husband or wife or whatever your role is on this world. But yeah, just never stop trying to improve yourself, but always give yourself that pat on the back for showing up every day. And that's why I'm so proud of you out there, because you show up every day and you try so hard. It's a big shout out to all the moms out there. All right, let's see. I've got 4 right now, and I might pull some oracle cards. Let's see if we get a complete message. All right, the first card is death. Dun, dun, dun. Let me show you that picture again. I love this deck. So death is about those transformations, but it's more like an ego death. Similar to the transformations in the tower, where the tower is an outside force has changed you. The death is almost always an inner change. And the process thereof, death is you know, a culling. It's a harvesting, but it's also an opportunity to pull up the dead roots for things. The next card, the Four of Arms, is definitely like a card of healing, self-love, meditation. I don't want to go as far as say isolation, but definitely like when you kind of take a step back from the group and take time like for yourself, especially if like there's been some sort of trauma or if you're just fucking exhausted. The Supervisor of Zents, that's your Queen of Pentacles. Yeah, I mean, she's just chilling, you know, she's got that good balance of the work or finances and the home life, you know, all the little creature comforts and everything's decorated just so, and nice fluffy comforters, and all the fucking bills are paid, and all of those things. So yeah, so like so far, like what I'm seeing is just kind of like let that ego die of, and this fits in perfectly with what I was talking about, let that ego die of what you think that perfect mom is, or that perfect person is that you're trying to be, and just be, you know, always like, yeah, just quit like with the self like judgment or whatever, and just let that like ego die of what you're supposed to be. And maybe like throw out, if you had, you know, a bad relationship with your mother, you know, you don't have to be her, you can be you. And so that death is also like that process of shedding the old skin of what it means to be like a mother, you know, in this reading, in this regards. So it's time to just like shed that old skin of all the preconceived notions of what you think a mother is and what a mother could be. If you don't have kids and you're considering it, or maybe you're one of those people that's like, how can you bring a child into the world, blah 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 blah, and that is a valid concern, but at the same time, again, like, you can choose to parent however you want to parent if that's something that you really want to do. Like, you don't have to be so afraid. You have free will. You can make your own choices. So yeah, ego death, let that fucking die about like what the world tells you a mom has to be, and you be the best mom that you can be. And that's going to take that inner reflection and also self-care. Some healthy boundaries as well, and that's part of self-care, and that's gonna give you that like badassery that you need to have the balance in life where you can provide the great home. You know, moms, women, we make a house a home. You know, I don't care what you say, us ladies, we make a house a home. And that Queen of Pentacles, the Supervisor of Zent, she really does, you know, she's got like her little bunny there on this nice big comfortable bed, and all these like computer screens, like she's kind of like keeping an eye on everything, but at the same time she's like chill because she's known that she's got it like on lock. She's good, she's golden. And I know that's like what you're kind of striving to be. You probably already are. You might be second guessing yourself on like how much you're rocking this, because like with the Agent of Vials, which is like the knight, I love all the knights in this deck have motorcycles. They're so badass. So it's like, don't lose your emotional shit. Like, don't let your cup spill, because you're doing better than you think. You're doing better than you're giving yourself credit for. You've been going through like this massive change of perspective on what it is to be, you know, a mother, and it's time for you to like step back and do that self-care and set those like healthy boundaries. That way, as you step into that mother role, you can be the best that you can be, and it'll be easier for you to lead without being you're the one that leads. You take into account your emotions, but you're still the one that leads. You're not letting your emotions lead you. It's very easy to let our emotions lead us when we're fucking exhausted. So take that time to recoup, rejuvenate, but also like kind of go within and like analyze and self-evaluate, you know. And that's, I think as moms, like, we tend to do that naturally, but the way that society has us pitted against each other is it's no longer like in a healthy way, like it is in this like a self-combative, we're always tearing ourselves down instead of like building ourselves up. Let's see, let's go with the Teal Swan deck for, let's see if she can give us one card. Let's do, Teal, will you give us one card, my dear, for all the mothers, for all the world, people who have mothers, which is everyone. One card, look at that. Oh my. It's funny that this card came out, and I'll tell you why. Let me get the little booklet. Here we go. Okay. So this one, it doesn't matter if it's upside down or not. And you can take a screenshot of that. These cards are like really great to meditate to. It's called the Meanie. I'm going to read this and then I'll explain to you why it's fucking hilarious for me. I love hate that card because of the name of it. Regardless of whether you draw this card upright or in reverse, it means the same. You are resisting your awakening. At this point in time, you are particularly resistant and closed down, and so now it is time for a wake-up call from the universe. Here is a set of questions you need to answer for yourself. What positive intention I have for keeping this negative thing in my life? What need is being met by it? Why don't I want to get better or improve this situation? So you might be like holding on to these negative ideas as like a form of protection. What was once a helpful coping mechanism in a previous aspect of your life is no longer working for you and might actually be preventing you from reaching that like level of badassery that you thought, you know. What do I not want other people to know about me? What am I trying to hide or deny? And that maybe you're sensitive. For some reason, the world expects us to be this like Wonder Woman, this like Amazon woman 24/7. And we're supposed to be sexy, and we're supposed to be nurturing, and we're supposed to have like this perfect like home that's so comfortable and inviting and know how to cook and all of these things, but we're not allowed to have any emotions. You know what I mean? Like, we're not allowed to feel feelings. It's like they want a fucking robot, and that might be something that, this is just an example, but that may be one of the things that you might be suppressing because you're too spread thin trying to fulfill all those ideas of what society thinks like mothers should be, you know? If I weren't scared, what would I do? What in my life is worth suffering for? You know, if I weren't scared to admit it, what would I admit to myself that I really want? And that is a big one for mothers because we are so self-sacrificing, and it tends to come with the nature, especially when our kids are very little. Like, there's not a lot of options for us to take time for ourselves, you know, because, you know, being a mom of small children, they take up so much time and emotion, and you're always having to think like, do we vaccinate? Do we not vaccinate? Do we give them the gummy vitamins or the Flintstones? Or do we let them eat the red M&Ms? You know, like, playing on the playground. Do we let them go on the merry-go-round? You notice there's not merry-go-rounds anymore? Like, all these fucking things that, like, parents have to, like, constantly think of. And it sounds trite, but it's, like, legit. Like, we have a lot going on our mind. Is Disney an okay for them to watch or whatever, It's a lot of things. And so we get so caught up in having to do that we don't take that time. What do we want? What do we need? What satisfies our soul? And it's time to really, like, go back and to understand, like, what satisfies our soul. And this is a lesson that I've learned in this part of my life, being a mother, that I wish I understood earlier, but I am glad that I understood it while my child is still living under my roof. That one of the best examples that you can set for your child is following your dreams. Follow your dreams, do things that fulfill your soul. Because your kid's going to need to see that. This can be a very tough world out there, and it can be a very exhausting world. And if we're not doing things that fulfill our soul, it's very easy to sink into depression, into being overcritical of ourselves, and kind of like disassociate from the world and just fall into this mom robot kind of thing. And if we don't set the example of following our dreams and following our passions and doing things that make us feel whole, then the next generation coming up, they're not going to understand any of that either. And I do feel like that's why we have such a rise of like depression and anxiety and things like that, is people don't know how to self-soothe. They don't know how to comfort themselves. They don't know how to feed their own soul. And so you get a lot of people running around, that's the Nine of Vials, with empty fucking cups saying, fill my cup, because they don't know how to fill their own cup. And so as a mother, I'm asking you to take the time and kind of step back and pay attention to what your needs, wants, and desires are, and try to understand that while it is important, it's nice to have a clean house and it's good to have nice furniture, and obviously we should make sure all the bills are paid. It's also very important that your child sees you learning a new skill, taking an art class from time to time, even if you're not very good at it, learning creative writing, learning how to dance, you know what I mean? Like going out and being a part of like different things in the community, whatever's your jam, I can't make that decision for you, but it's a big example to set for your child, and that's going to make you such a better parent because you're not going to be stressed out anymore or as much. There's always going to be stressors in the world. So definitely take those things into consideration. This is going to be kind of a long reading because I haven't done one in a couple of days. And so So the next one I want to do is the Santa Muerta. She's another dark goddess. She is like a mother for everyone. This deck I absolutely love to use whenever I'm trying to connect with my ancestors. I have a grandmother that's with me almost always, but she's not like a grandmother from this lifetime. Like she's ancient. Wiccans might call her like the crone aspect of the goddess, but like she's legit like my grandmother. But like I can feel her oftentimes. She's never too far away. So the Santa Muerta deck is one of my favorite decks to use to connect with the ancestors, because sometimes I get tired and it's hard for me to like use my psychic part. So that's why I like the cards. I also love these cards because I love anything with skulls on them. I'm creepy like that. And they have a lot of like Aztec Mayan imagery going on as well. Santa Muerta, do you have a message from our ancestors? Let's see if we can get one to pop out. Ooh. All right, that one did it. I would say I caught it, but it's almost like That was it. Okay. That's weird. That's weird. These cards are all CG. Like, they're not, like, hand-painted or anything. So, at first, it kind of threw me off, but I really like them. Okay. Let's see. This card's about human intellect. It is the birthplace of language, ideas, knowledge, and communication. It is where all those things take place and culture is generated. The advice from the dead is put instinct aside for a moment and analyze the situation you are in rationally. You know, like instinctually being a mother, we just want to like dive all in and be all in, but it's easy to lose yourself that way. So sometimes we do need to step back and use that logical part of our brain to analyze things and kind of see where maybe we've spread ourselves too thin. The card, the Four of Arms, which is also the Four of Swords, you know, that card is about like self-care and things like that, which you would think would be like in the Pentacles or the Cup section, is actually in with the Swords, because of the fact that we can get like very, very stressed out and about things. And so like having that self-care gives us the break we need to go back and use that logical like sense of the mind. So I really feel like that this card kind of backs that up. You know, take the time that you need to take care of yourself so you can look at things logically and not emotionally, because right now like you're drained. Like you're so fucking emotionally drained. Like you're doing good, you're rocking the mom stuff, but you're drained. And so love yourself and care for yourself so that way you can look at situations logically and kind of see, you know, what you might be, where you might be taxing yourself and where you might be like overdoing it and overspending too much time and too much mental energy, and where you could use that energy for yourself or maybe kind of like redisperse it within the family. It's always, you know, it's always good to take those kind of steps back. All right, last one, just because this is like my favorite. All right, Sacred Spirit reading cards. And these are definitely like more spiritual out of all of them. The Teal Swan cards can be definitely too, but they can also be like very like psychiatric, whereas this is more like your higher power type spirit, not necessarily so much like with ancestors and things like that. Like this is pretty straightforward. All right, they're so big it's hard to shuffle. Whoop, well, there she goes. That was it. I'll take it. And this is a fucking psychedelic looking card too. That says Galactic Healer. Move forward with an open mind. And you know, that's one of the big qualities of the goddess mother like archetype, is that healer aspect. Yeah, women can heal on so many levels. Like we can heal on energetic levels. We are really good with like instinctually knowing like what medicines are best. And even like little things, like it's so common to kiss a boo-boo. But that's like you're sending out your love, you're sending out your energy whenever you kiss a boo-boo, you know? Your kid gets a skint knee and you kiss it to make it all better. And it really, it really does actually send down a lot of that loving energy to make it feel better. Let's see what the Galactic Healer has to say for us. Don't look back, move forward with an open mind. We're evolving as a species. Sacred symbols, ancient architecture, and medicine have been inspired by astrological phenomena. You may find yourself searching for knowledge in ancient healing practices, energy work, or light-based information, such as DNA coding, energetic downloads, sacred symbols. So that's just like basically like reawakening like this ancient mother healer that we have inside of us. You know, we have the power to heal ourselves. We have the power to heal the world. It's always been like buried in our DNA. It's society that's what's buried it. As a society, stuttered there for a second. As a society, we're starting to get to the point where either A, we're more comfortable and we don't feel threatened. Like, while there's still a lot of societal pressures, they're not burning witches at the stake too much anymore, you know. And oftentimes the people that they burned were not witches, they were healers. And so we've kind of had to like go underground, so to speak, like hiding like our innate abilities, or you know, we talked to things that weren't there, and that was like shunned down. And you know, oh, you shouldn't have imaginary friends and blah blah blah, and all of those like different pressures have closed us off from our natural ability to heal. And all of those inclinations, we're told that's the devil's work, or you're crazy for being that, or you know, being over emotional, oh, that's just female hormones. Look up the word hysterics in the origin of the word hysterics. God. Yeah, this card talks about born healers and psychics may experience deep soul activations, and galactic healers are present in your life right now. So just like I was talking about, like having this grandmother spirit behind me that's watching, like you've got, this card is basically reiterating like your spiritual family is behind you, and they're watching you, and they're helping you activate these ancient powers that you've always had, like awakening the goddess within. And that's helping you become like even that much more of like this badass woman that you've always been. But it was just kind of like buried inside. And so that's going to help like get rid of a lot of that second guessing that you've had, and start like thinking, if you get an inclination about something, don't just throw it away. Just be like, okay, well, I wonder what happens if we do follow this path a little bit more, and a little bit more, and a little bit more. You know, maybe I'll take a left turn instead of a right turn this time, and see what happens. You've got your spiritual team, your soul family on the other side. Not only are they cheering you on, but they're actually sending you love and guidance with these little synchronicities and healing, and helping you open yourself up. Because now is the time, like if not do it for yourself, do it for your family. Because now is the time that you need to stand up and be the person that you were meant to be. I mean, what was I talking about earlier about, you know, doing things that feed your soul? Well, now is like, this really reiterates it on an even more like spiritual level. Time to go back and do things that feed your soul, because as you heal yourself, you heal the world. When you heal yourself, your energetic body heals, and people can tell like a shift in your aura. They may come, oh, are you working out? You know, what's going on? You have this glow about you. Did you dye your hair? Did you lose some weight? You know, what's going on? And it's because you're doing like this inner healing. And things are awakening as you do that. Like things will start to awaken. It says moldavite is a good crystal. Angel assistance, Archangel Raphael, for deep physical, emotional, and spiritual healing. In the affirmation, I reawaken my soul's desire to learn and grow beyond existing limitations. So yeah, all those, what I was talking about at the beginning, all those like mental limitations about what it is to be a mother, to be a woman, awaken that goddess within, definitely. Like ego death, all that bullshit about what society tells you it means to be a woman, and awaken your own inner goddess on this path, whatever that means to you. And you're probably going to reevaluate and revamp what it means to like be a mother. And don't stress out. There's no reason to sit there and, oh, I'm not doing it right. I'm not doing it right. There is no not doing it right. This is about learning how to follow your intuition again. And intuition is deeply linked to your emotions, and it's deeply linked to your imagination. And both of those things get squashed down within us at very young ages, especially as women. Like I said, we're supposed to have the perfect fucking house decorated and all comfy and shit. We're supposed to be able to cook like fucking Martha Stewart. We're supposed to be able to, you know what I mean, like be sexy all the time and all of these things and be the perfect mom, but we're not supposed to be creative. We're not supposed to use our intuition. Like we're not supposed to, and no ma'am, it's time. Step into your power. All those little things that you've been about yourself that like you've been scared to show. And that's what this mini card was about too. Like, what is it that you're hiding from the world? And what is it that you need to like step more into a becoming of yourself? Like, it's time to stop like hiding yourself from yourself and hiding yourself from the world. And by doing so, you're going to set the example for your kid, and they're not going to have to go through as much like, turmoil and anxiety and things like that is like that you've had to deal with, because they won't have had to have lived a life of like hiding their true selves. Okay, so that's that. Now I wanted to explain to you the mini card. The reason why I always get a kick out of this card, this is a tough card, these are tough answers, but the mini sidetracked to my mother when we were little, my brother and I, and it would be time for my mother to dole out the punishments. She would threaten us with this like imaginary aspect of herself called meanie. And so if we were ever bad, and she would threaten us with, if you keep behaving like that, I'm going to call Meanie. I'm going to call Meanie, and Meanie's going to come in here, and you're going to get a whooping, and all these things. And Meanie's going to see this messy room, and you're going to get in trouble, and this, that, and the other. And she would actually, like, step out of the room and walk back in the room and be like, you know, the bad twin or whatever. And that was Meanie. And so whenever I see like this card called Meanie, like it kind of strikes a nerve, because I'm like, oh no, it's coming for me. While it does have a slightly different meaning, it was just kind of funny because today is Mother's Day, and Meanie always reminds me of my mother. She's quite the character. But, all right, you guys, step into your badassery, basically. It took for 7 cards and 35 minutes for me to tell you to step into your badassery. It's time to quit playing around. Quit fooling yourself. Quit trying to fool everybody else. And work on every day living a more authentic life. Don't think of it as changing who you are. Think of it as becoming. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. I will try my very hardest to get this uploaded tonight. If not, I'll get it uploaded first thing in the morning. Tomorrow's Monday. I have all day dedicated to doing tarot readings, so I might hop back on here and do something. Probably throw up some videos on the YouTube channel, and I've got some other appointments that I've got to tend to. So if you want to set an appointment, it is $30 for 30 minutes. Fair enough. We can go over any questions you have. My forte, communicating with higher selves, spirit guides, ancestors, things like that, is like helping like find a life purpose. If you're going through a dark night of the soul, depression, things like that. That's, but I can also work with, I've helped people find love and marriage, and people with career changes and moving and all sorts of things like that. So definitely like hit me up. I love you guys so fucking much, and find a mom, I don't care who, and with her permission, fucking hug that woman, okay? Hug her. She needs it. 20-second hug, because you got to do it long enough to release all the good chemicals in the brain. 20-second hug. The first mom you see, try not to get punched in the face. I love you guys. Thank you for bearing with me through this reading. This isn't just for the moms. Definitely like a good reading, so you can kind of understand where the moms in your life are coming from. It's a message for everyone, for sure. But I love you guys, and hopefully see you soon. All right, good night.